Hello alls! Today we're here for a review. It's been a long time since I filmed one and I read a book and I really wanted to make a review of it, to talk about it, to share my love for the book, to tell you what I loved, why I didn't like, or yeah, there are stuff that I didn't like, maybe stuff that bothered me, but yeah, I'm here to talk to you about that book. So the book I'm going to talk about, you probably have read the title of this video, but never mind, is Deep Cosmos by Project Kyle. This is a sci-fi. I'm not sure if this is an adult or YA or whatever yet, but this is 100% a sci-fi. I gave it a 5 stars. I'm gonna give you a few reasons why. So the rate on GoodReads is 3.33 and it was rated only by 30 people, so it doesn't mean anything at that point, I want to say. This is the story of David. He is also known as Nerd. He went through some tragedy, so Cosmos 5, something very bad happened. He had to escape and now he's kind of seeking for a refuge somewhere in the cosmos. One day he's gonna save a young lady, a young woman named Sophia. And she's gonna become a team of that crew and they're gonna go on a galactic adventure together. Will they win? Will they survive? Will they die? Will they meet more people? You're gonna have to read to find out. First, let's talk about Nerd, also known as David. He is kinda robotic, I wanna say. He is human, but he doesn't act as a human. He calls himself Nerd, the supreme human intelligence, so that means a lot and nothing at the same time. He's just that kind of person who kinda is into science and doesn't know anything else about social life. He's acting that way, and the way he was acting made me think of myself at some point, so I'm not like him. So you're gonna have to read the book to find out what he really is. That was such an interesting point of view, by the way. I loved reading from that point of view, from that aspect. He made me think of me, even if I don't seem like that on camera. I'm kind of like, I have social anxiety and sometimes I don't know how to act. I don't know how to interpret what people say or think or the way they act or whatever. So it made me think of myself, which is like always weird and enjoyable to connect to a character through that, which made me love him from the beginning. So to be honest, at the beginning I was kind of confused because everything happened like from the beginning. You were in the middle of the action, but I didn't know where we are, if that world was set up differently, if it was similar to ours, if it was more like sci-fi fantasy, you know what I mean? Like I didn't know where I was. And actually the author started with a sentence, protect your sanity at all costs. So I was like a bit confused, but at the same time I was like, maybe that's the point, maybe that's what the author tried to do, like confuse you from the beginning. I don't know, but I feel like it could have been done in a different kind of way. But at the same time I really love the way it was done, because I feel like when I was reading that book I was having that impression that I was actually reading a comic book, which I really enjoyed actually, because the characters were not like super well developed like you can expect in other books. There were not tons of details. It was just action after action, and I felt like this was a comic book, and this was maybe why I was confused, because when you open a comic book you're not gonna have a description like introduction of how the world works, the rules, etc. You're just gonna have to read and find out by yourself. Okay, so I was confused, I was surprised, but it didn't stop me from enjoying the book. I loved it from page 1. I love sci-fi, but this is not like a very heavy kind of sci-fi. It's not full of science or whatever. That's why I don't know if it's adult or YA, because I want to say YA because it's accessible and I think that everyone could read it. But at some point, sometimes he talks about suicide or torture, depression, manipulation, etc. So I feel like maybe you don't want your kids to read about that. but at the same time it was done in such a way that it wasn't graphic. Actually, you couldn't picture it. So about that confusion thing, etc., so the other main character, Sophia, was also confused at the beginning, but I don't know if she was confused because the situation was confused. I feel like she was confused. That's a lot of confused in one sentence, but whatever. She was confused because of Nerd behavior. He was kind of robotic. He wanted to be her friend, but he didn't know how to do that. He didn't know how to talk to her. In a short amount of time, a lot of stuff happened. Like, a lot of stuff happened. Action after action. So I feel like we didn't have enough time to breathe in between those actions or whatever, but at the same time it just made sense because they were going on a galactic adventure. So you don't expect a galactic adventure to be slow. You expect it to be fast paced. Also because I feel like Sophia and Nerd didn't need a lot of time to get closer to each other, and that actually bothered me because I don't like love at first sight or whatever, so I don't like friendship at first sight, even if it's something that's possible actually, even in real life. But the fact that they were getting closer to each other from the beginning was like confusing as well. I didn't know why it was happening, but again, if you see it from a comic book aspect, you get it. But I really loved Nerd. I found him cute and lovable. He was like a little puppy you just want to pet and explain life to him. I really loved him so much. I really enjoyed that book, and because it has also a lot of references from Doctor Who and Twilight Zone, etc. So I really loved that as well, and I'm a nerd, so I appreciate that. Sophia, so the other character, I found her annoying at the beginning. She went through some really bad stuff. She escaped thanks to Nerd from a very dark and twisted situation. So I get why she's boring at the beginning, but still, she wasn't like whiny or etc. But I felt like she would have been. She was the kind of character that was whiny, and after time she became a kick-ass character, which is always nice to have. Woman power. Plot-wise, I feel like we didn't have like one plot. We had different aspects of a plot. I don't know if they were like one line, you know, something from the beginning till the end. I really could picture that book to be a series or whatever, especially because it's gonna be a part of a series. I don't know if it's gonna be a duology, trilogy, whatever, but I could picture it becoming like a series with 15 episodes or whatever. And like, yeah, Doctor Who, like each story is like one episode or two, and it just one thing, and then when you go to the next episode it's another story, and it has nothing to do with the previous one, or kinda, yeah, some details yes, some story yes, but not everything. And I really could picture that while reading it. I really enjoyed that book. I found it funny. I love the characters. I love the adventure. I love the ideas that the author had, the imagination. I really love that, what happened on that planet, etc., with all the people they met. I really enjoyed that book, and I think that you have to start this book when, I don't know, you just want an easy read. You want something that's funny. You want something that's enjoyable and not super complicated with like complex stuff and whatever. You just want a nice book to read. I feel that that book did that for me because I didn't have time to read that much, and that book made me want to read. And I was happy to read an easy sci-fi, and I would recommend that book to a lot of people. Not everyone, because I know sci-fi is not for everyone. I really hope the author won't be mad at me because I'm comparing the book to a comic book, or because I'm saying that it could be perfect for a series or whatever. I will definitely read the rest of the series because I got attached to the characters. I care about them, and that's a funny book, but it talks also about PTSD and, as I said earlier, like torture, etc. So not easy subject, more like heavy subjects, but it's done in such a way that you can only enjoy. I mean, you're not gonna enjoy torture, but you know what I mean. Also, something else, I think that Sophia was actually the only female character. I wonder why. Also, at some point I found like the conversation between the characters kind of cheesy or very simple, but again, from Nerd's point of view, it makes sense. So yeah. And as I said, so funny book because it also uses emojis, which is super weird in a book, I feel. Maybe that's the first book I've seen emojis in. I don't know, maybe. But that was interesting and funny actually. I really believe that we will see that author growing and improving through the series, so I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited about the fact that maybe you wolves will read that book, and I'm super curious. So if you read that book, please let me know in the comment section what you thought about it. I'm really interested in knowing that. I just want to say thank you to the author for sending me the arc of this book, because this is like you trusting me, giving my point of view of your book and reading your work, and I can imagine how hard it can be, but thank you so much for your trust. I cannot wait to see the next book. Well, I'm gonna stop the video here. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to be a part of the pack, and talk to me in the comments as usual. See you in the next video. Take care. Bye.